All right, everybody, welcome back to the tavern. We last time we ended up finishing what was known as the Cyclops era of Epic the musical. Now, after watching a lot of the animatics that Rift Walker 9997 sent me, thanks to you again, by the way, for sending that, so I can end up getting a more visualized aspect of this. I'm going to be using those animatics from now on in order to react to things. We are going into what I think is called the Ocean Saga, based on what I've been told. If we're following the books from there, this should take place right after Odysseus escapes the Cyclops and starts sailing through here again. So I don't know if they're actually going to show, but what's supposed to happen is the Cyclops was supposed to um, initially uh, pray to Poseidon himself to ask that Odysseus gets cursed to wander these seas and oceans for 10 years. So it makes me wonder if this is kind of going to be what had happened from that aspect of there. So you might see Aelus within here, because that is a lot of kind of what happens within the section. And there's going to be a lot of God things in here. And wondering from my own thought processes from the previous two eras, normally when gods are involved, there is some sort of instrumentation that is involved there. And based on some of the comments that I've seen, I'm really wondering what instrumentation is going to be used. I'm assuming Poseidon's going to have his own kind of instrument that's going to work with. Aeolus, who becomes more apparent during this particular part, if we're following kind of, the general gist of this, might end up having a little bit of an instrument-wise work with there, unless they already introduced that earlier and I just didn't notice it. But this will be kind of, initial reactions. I have never listened to any of this before. This is my first viewing of this, so just like last time, you're probably going to have a lot of start and stops as I go into more of a musical analysis of this, but I appreciate like all the kind words that have been said about this series so far. So I'm excited to continue with this, since this will be the new stuff for a bit. As always, by all means, if you have any suggestions on other animatics or other musicals or music just in general, or just want to have discussions about what I've talked about down there, by all means, please leave a comment below. I've been responding to as many of them as I can, but let's just kind of continue the love of music, because that's what we want to do here, is just spread how epic, huh? Get it? Epic? Sorry, that was bad. How epic the musical is. Anyway, let's continue on. We're gonna go right into the Ocean Saga, and I'm excited to see kind of how this continues from here. So again, never listened to this, so there'll probably be a lot of starts and stops. The first one out of this is called Storm, and I think there's 3 others that we'll be listening today and kind of watching. So let's see how Odysseus's 10 years lost at sea will go, if this is what we're going to kind of continue, or at least the start of the 10 years. So, all right, I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm excited. I wanted to listen to this. I've been wanting to get back into this. I just finally found the time to sit down and record new things. So let's see what we got. Already a very different feeling. We got the heartbeat intensity back.
These waves and tides have grown in strength and size. Is it nature or divine, or a blessing in disguise? Our homes inside, this storm's our final fight. There's no time to die. Comrades, sir, brace for a storm.
Talk about starting intense already just from that little bit. Okay, wow. There's a lot to unpack here already with just this first, 45 seconds. This is already a much different feeling than what we've heard before. it seems whenever there's any type of peril, we have this intense beat going on in the background to kind of give that aggression in there. And just like before, when we had with the original Cyclops, the start of it has the heartbeat. Bum, 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 bum. However, the difference is what the composer did here was end up making it so it's on a weird time signature, so you can kind of feel the anticipation of this, the uncertainty. Let me see if I can figure out the time signature just from this. This is in 5/8, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is the really awkward 5/8 time signature. So what that means is that there's two small beats followed by there's two small beats followed by kind of one longer extension of it. When you have that in music, a lot of it tries to give this like driving uncertainty movement forward, and especially if this is Poseidon showing his wrath to Odysseus and his crew after being cursed by the Cyclops, like in the previous one, that kind of edge of so you probably hear like the bass line kind of drive with there, and the chord progressions should probably be more in kind of this minor diminished aspect in order to give that kind of feeling from there. But with those chords in the background, as somebody pointed out in my first video, typically we have chords that is some type of divine intervention going from there. Let me listen to that beginning again there just to see how the instruments kind of work into that. Plus you have this horn in the beginning. Like, that's the first time you've really heard kind of like a horn. And I think it's supposed to be like a MIDI version of a French horn. Either that or like a trumpet. And you have the heartbeat being on the two first beats. And then it changes to a pulse.
Is it nature or divine or a blessing in disguise? Our homes inside.
All right, so you have like the bass line being not really changing much of the progression there, but kind of being that dun dun da da dun dun da da, which helps to drive that initial beat forward. That's such a cool, intense feeling from there.
Storms are final fight. There's no time to die. Comrades, sir, brace for a storm. The likes of which we've never seen before.
God, that is so like. Sorry I keep stopping it at just one, but like this 5/8 driving pattern is such a really cool way music-wise to give this this kind of representation of uncertainty, uneasiness, almost, just like the ocean waves kind of pushing forward from there. The storm is our last challenge, as Odysseus has said 30,000 times before. I don't know if this is divine intervention or what, but we got to push forward. So even through the uncertainty waves, you're da 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 da. You got to keep pushing along with that. That is so cool. That gives kind of a whole new meaning to this, because you're not sure what to listen for. Like, you want to listen to the lyrics, but because the pulse is so awkward at a lot of times, it's hard to focus on that, and that could represent a lot of the insecurities that Odysseus might have in actually getting his crew through these terrible storms.
With hope so close, we must keep pushing forward. Full speed ahead towards the island, but avoid the crashing waves. Tread where the tide is flat, and then you will be safe.
I like that this is bringing back the original melody for Full Speed Ahead. Like as soon as he said the full speed ahead and it started going into this da 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 da, that's very similar to the melodic structure that Full Speed Ahead had. So this might be a different situation of them trying to get, through ocean. Maybe this is kind of like the ocean thing that they go through this. But again, I think that the chorale you hear in the background is the Wrath of Poseidon, but that's just me. Yeah, it's very similar to the motive back in Full Speed Ahead.
Captain, we will capsize
Oh, God. And we're going back to whenever there's a human or Odysseus or any of his thing involved, you have a guitar riff that kind of represents Odysseus trying to push something forward from there. So whenever you hear a guitar in there, that is Odysseus leading his men into some kind of perilous, impossible thing, yet him trying to push through. That is such a clever way to continue pushing that forward. I like it. I like it. Because you hear the guitar in a second as soon as Odysseus starts here. Yep. Ooh.
An island in the sky. You really just grab the harpoons, as many as you can find. What do you have in mind? We're gonna shoot for the sky. What?
Oh. God, those progressions are beautiful.
Everyone grab a harpoon and aim it high.
That is such a good transition from there. Oh my gosh. So the progression here has very minor as everything seems hopeless. I'm assuming this is Aeolus. I don't remember if that's what his main commander was called, but you have this kind of like minor sad, this is hopeless type thing. But then as soon as you see the sky appear there, or the island, it becomes a lot more brighter. We go into more of a positive thing, especially with like the high woodwinds. Probably some type of pan flute, at least that's what it sounds like to me. Like popping over there and being like, hey, maybe there's hope from there. And you're going to notice as I go back into the main theme that you will hear like the chord progressions start going from minor and slowly going into more of a major augmented chords with augmentation from there of like in music terms, augmented kind of still means a little bit more on the brighter side, but in kind of a more minor setting. So with combining those two things together, it's like maybe there's hope we can get out of this storm. That's a cool way of doing it.
Just grab the harpoons, as many as you can find.
Because you still have that minor, but when you hear the chords come back in, you're going to hear a lot of augmentation to it. Just wait for it as soon as the harpoons start. Yep, there's the augmentation, which gives just a little bit of brightness to show maybe there's a chance for this. As soon as it hits, that's when everything kind of mellows down. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. That's a good way to kind of start this. So maybe, so if they found immediately like something to the sky, does that mean that, oh man, I don't know. Like this is kind of going, if this is one of the other islands, this isn't, the island of Aya, is it? Maybe. I don't know. I'm just going to have to kind of watch and see what kind of happens from here. But that was kind of a cool way. Like having that 5/8 progression is such a cool way to show anticipation and kind of uncertainty going through like the Poseidon storm and everything like that. That's really cool. That's really cool. So we've hooked onto the island. We have hooked down to the island. So that must mean that maybe there's going to be hope to get to there. Maybe things will be a little bit better. I don't know. Luck runs out will be kind of the next thing from here, but this is exciting. Like, I love the musical analysis of this and just to kind of see how each of them kind of reflect. So that must mean we might hear that melody, that motive of "bo" in one form or another as we go through, because the sagas seem to play with one motive and then kind of keep reflecting it based off of what the current circumstance is. We heard that with the Troy saga in kind of the beginning with the war thing there. We heard Athena introduce it when they ended up getting into the cave. Well, not Athena, but Odysseus introduced it when they got into the cave right before confronting the Cyclops. And I'm wondering if that ocean theme we just heard, the da 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 or the da 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 da. I wonder if those will play through there. Well, let's find out when luck runs out. It's kind of there.
Please don't tell me you're about to do what I think you'll do.
You've heard the legends of the island in the sky. This proves they're true. We're in the home of the wind god.
We don't know for sure.
How many floating islands have you seen before? This is the home of the wind god.
And what's your plan?
It's very interesting because we kind of do have a little bit of the play of the da 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 da. It almost sounds like it's reversed to me now. And when you reverse something in minor, it does kind of become major. Dun dun dun. So bomb 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 bomb. It might have been reversed a little bit there, but this is definitely more going into major keys to kind of be like, huh. And you notice as soon as they start talking about a god, the pianos kind of come back in. Because you do have kind of the inflection of piano there. Doing that initial chord progression they put in the beginning there immediately.
Legends of the island in the sky. This proves they're true. We're in the home of the wind god.
We don't know for sure.
How many floating islands have you seen before?
This is a lot more
This is the
optimism.
home of the wind god.
And what's your plan?
I'm gonna climb to the top and ask him for a hand.
You could be caught off guard and lose your life, or piss off this god and infuse us with strife.
Is this another singer doing the second, his commander right now from there? As it sounds like a little bit different than the original one. I could be wrong. Just the inflection, unless it was to really tell them apart by that point. But the Wind God has kind of, we're back in that kind of solid 4/4 feeling from there. And you have the pum, the pulse of a decision being made, as they always do. And as Odysseus is talking about ascending, you start to have, like choirs of angels going out with the vocals doing the ah, immediately kind of introduced in the beginning to be like, yes, this is going to be our way out of the storm. We found the epic floating islands. This is going to be our opportunity. It's just minor things that I'm noticing.
Before, this is the home of the wind god.
And what's your plan?
I'm gonna climb to the top and ask him for a hand.
You could be caught off guard and lose your life, or piss off this god and infuse us with strife.
You've already pissed off enough gods as it is, haven't you?
Dangerous the gods are.
Have faith, friend, we've come this far.
Yes, but how much longer till your luck runs out? How much longer till the show
Bum, bum,
goes
bum.
out?
Bum. So now we have a very interesting kind of discussion happening here. Like, this feels the exact opposite of what happened on the Lotus Island. Like, when Odysseus is talking to, again, the names escape me, I apologize from there. Like, this is the exact opposite. There was optimism in his soldiers' mindset, while Odysseus didn't have the optimism. But this one completely flipped around. Like, Odysseus, now knowing that he's probably free of Athena's influence, is like, hey, maybe now somebody else can help me out here. But it's like, dude, we've messed with too many gods. So now that it's kind of flipped around from there, it's fascinating, because now we have Odysseus, who's trying to make this song into more of a major key, while maybe this is Aeolus? I don't know. No, Aeolus should be the wind god. So then this is probably just I don't know. Like, the sailors being like, let's not trust the gods anymore. Well, of course, he's going to go to Aeolus, but like, I just like how this kind of entirely twisted what was initially going on. We have Odysseus being the positive and his crew being the negative from here. And with the negative, you have these like diminished chords as compared to the augmented. We're still in kind of a minor uncertain key after getting through the storm here, but these progressions are getting more and more intense as Odysseus is making up more of his mind to be like, no, we're going to continue with this. Anyway, let me continue this. Have faith, more positive, they go to minor.
Much longer till your luck runs out.
The howl chord is also minor to make it feel like you don't want to do this.
I still believe in goodness.
Ooh, boom, 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 boom. Wait a minute. We're giving the boom, 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 boom reflection back from there. That is that same Calypso beat that was back from a while ago. Kind of being like, hey, we've gotten out of this situation before. We ended up having the Lotus people help us at one point. There is good still in here. It's so exact opposite. That's such a nice callback, though.
People die on it, whoa.
I still believe in goodness. I still believe that we could be kind.
That's cool that they bring that back.
And see what starts.
And what will we do when it tears us apart?
Where is this coming from, my friend?
I just don't wanna see another life end. You're like the brother I could never do with.
No.
And suddenly you doubt that I could figure this out.
Captain, how much longer till your luck runs out? How much longer till the show goes south? How much longer till we all fall down? You rely on wit and people die on it.
So the sailors, I definitely think that the sailors, whenever they're involved in one aspect or another trying to talk to Odysseus, definitely seem to be represented by a choir, which is actually really cool. You have the lead singer who is doing that, and then you always have everyone else backing them up with some type of chordal structure from there being done with voices, which again makes sense if this is the 600 souls that Odysseus is trying to get back, or at least however many after, they've been killed and perished. This would make sense why there's so much tension here. But it seems like whenever there's tension against Odysseus, we also have a piano thing going in there, and Odysseus' thought themselves seems to be the guitar. So we're starting to get a little bit more of these instruments might represent certain people. And for the sake of music theory and the sake for music analysis, vocals are considered an instrument. Singing requires those vibrations to happen, so you do have vocals being considered an instrument when most composers write through things, which is why you hear those choirs whenever you have a bunch of humans talking together, even if it is just the quote-unquote captain talking to Odysseus right now. That's probably how the rest of the crew feels, so they end up using the choir to kind of match that aspect of there. It's cool. It's cool.
How much longer till the show goes south? How much longer till we all fall down? You rely on wit and people die on it. Whoa, how much longer till the snake breaks free? How much longer till your great day sees? How much longer till your strength takes leave? You rely on wit and people die on it. Whoa.
Thank you for the concern, but brother, I can assure you.
And there's the guitar and the flow as he's trying to make his men feel more comfortable about this.
Don't forget how much we've already faced. I took 600 men to war and not one of them died there. In case you needed a reminder, if you'd like to speak more, let me pull you aside then. I need to talk to you in private.
Oh.
I can't have you planting seeds of doubt. I can't have you disagreeing each route.
This is such a different twist, because he's probably freaking out about all this, which is when he pulled his Captain 2 there. You have the I and the we thing, like the we obviously being the crew's concern, while Odysseus pulls him aside, it's like, look, I understand that this is bad, but using that inflection of I with not a chord this time, just the single note there, which is the root of the chord, da 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 da. We're still having that same melody line go throughout this, but that whole thing there is just like a, hey, I got to be the leader of this. If I can't keep the morale up, then we're not going to be able to get through this. Or at least that's kind of what my initial thought from there. The single voice versus the many is such a good way to show the leader versus the sailors, like, hesitations and everything. That's cool, pulling aside, and even like the light reflection from here helps to really kind of show that with the animatic here.
I can't have you planting seeds of doubt. I can't have you disagreeing each route. I need you to always be devout and comply with this, or we'll all die in this. Oh,
We gotta be together.
Okay.
Thank you.
Aww. Okay, that's cool. That's a cool way to do it, because obviously there's going to be some hesitation with everything that's kind of going on there, because oh man, like Odysseus and his crew has already been through so much, having to deal with the war, the killing of the baby, and then having to sail and have to deal with the Cyclops, and now having to deal with Poseidon's wrath, and like if there's any hesitation with one of them, it could cause everyone to perish. So that was kind of a really that was a really good way of showing kind of the hesitation that they might have, and being able to play with just that same progression and the many voices versus the one. Oh, that's such a cool way to show the differences of what Assidious is probably feeling from the rest of this crew. But that was to bring everything back. That was to bring them back to where it is. God, this is such another like cool one. All right, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I don't know if that'll go, but let's see what we got here. This is actually the longest one I think out of this saga. Like, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited to see, because this is actually going up to Aeolus now. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Am I saying that right? Aeolus, I think it is. Either way, the wind god. The wind god is what we're kind of aiming for. What do we got? Flashing too, just as a warning. Do we have the wind god being a pan flute? Is that because anytime we had any mention of the wind god, I had a flute appear in that other thing? Like, is the flute just the wind god? Did we already identify the instrument without me realizing it? Oh, it's a burb.
Great wind god Aeolus, I don't know if you know this, but our path to home is blocked by an impenetrable...
Oh! That is such a clever way to introduce a god or a concept. So, the melody line here. I'm going to play this for a second so you can hear this, and then I'll play it from the beginning again. All right, that melody you just heard, or however the way the melody went, that is your motive for this whole thing. What I think, and based on what I heard, when the choirs came in, they ended up putting that motive through there to make it kind of represent like the wind blowing. Like you have this echo happening, and if we're talking about the wind god here, you're probably going to hear that in multiple cannons instead. If you don't know what a canon is, think of like canon in D. Ba 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 ba. Or no, here's your easier way to think of it. The song "Row, Row, Row Your Boat." Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. And then after a little bit, I know going back to elementary school and everything, you would end up singing that again. Another group would sing that at the same time, so you have two of the same melody going along. That is kind of what a canon is in a sense. But we're going to have this blah, 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 that we heard in the flute probably keep representing and hearing through a lot of things. So it's not going to feel like there's a lot of time going on at first, most likely. This is just my prediction based on what I heard from like the first like 15 seconds of this. So if you listen to the choirs, you might hear that melody line come forward through there. Listen to that melody line one more time and then I'll stop talking. Oh, that's exciting. Let's see if I hear it with the others.
Great wind god Aeolus, I don't
yep,
know
you hear it with vocals.
This,
oh, that's so cool.
Yep,
yep, you hear it constant in the background there.
I ask for your assistance.
That is such a cool effect to do. Like, we're trying to get this mysterious voice going on, and I'm positive the flute must represent the wind god Aeolus, or whatever they're called in here. I'm saying Aeolus because I know about how the original thing goes, but whatever the wind god's name is, that's their theme for it. Listen for a flute and listen for that, like, ooh, okay, I'm gonna stop now. I've talked literally about the first 20 seconds for like 5 minutes. Dear Lord, like, oh, I love new depicts of like gods this way. This is so cool.
Don't know if you know this, but our path to home is blocked by an impenetrable storm.
Actually, the melody line of Odysseus is that same melody line, just slowed down. Okay, one more time from the beginning, and then I want to really listen to Odysseus like a little bit like closer. But it sounds like Odysseus is doing that flute motive just a lot slower and with a lot more like reflections or and a lot more speed. Well, a lot slower speed, I should say. Well, I got to hear this one more time. I got to get through this song, but I can't because I'm stuck in this first part of introducing all of this.
Great wind god Aeolus, I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, it is the same thing. That's so cool. It's an inversion of it.
I ask for your assistance.
That's so cool.
So we at last can go the distance. Can you cast the perfect winds for us and aid our journey home?
Ha ha ha! I am the wind, twisting and turning. I give the fire enough to stay burning. Let's play a game.
A game?
That's what I'm serving, and if you win, you will get what you're yearning.
Sorry, this is the pulse of this. It's the opposite of the storm. You, instead of having a 1 2 1 2 1 2 3, you have 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 da 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 da. So it's this internal pulse that you're hearing that's different. So, oh man, I wasn't not sure how the pulse is going to go until I heard also the depiction of the wind goddess, or wind god in this case, is so cool. Like, it's playful, just like the wind is. It's a cool way to do it. But yes, so the storm was da 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 da. So let's still stay in 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Let's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, so I guess the ocean was actually in 7/8, not 5/8, because that'd be 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2. But this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So this is still in 7/8 or 3 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. This might be an 8/8 instead. Bum, bum. You'll hear that pulse in a second. Let me go back to when the goddess actually enters.
Can you cast the perfect winds for us and aid our journey home?
Ha ha ha! I am the wind, twisting and turning.
1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3. Yep, it's the exact opposite of the storm. That's cool.
And if you win, you will get what you're yearning. Take a look right here at this bag. It has the winds of the storm all trapped.
Except not the right wind.
All I gotta do is not open this bag.
Sounds too easy, what's the catch?
Ha ha ha! Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Never really know who you can trust. If they wanna get the bag.
Oh, that's such a cool beat for there.
Cause the end always justifies the means. Friends turn to foes in
I love this song.
friends close and your enemies close.
Like we still have the typical pulse there of the bum going off of that feeling of the 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. But instead of doing stereotypical chord progressions, it's just that original motive introduced with the flute at the beginning. The flute is definitely kind of what the wind god is. It's gotta be. Like, that is such a cool effect from there. I don't know, this just sounds so playful, which makes sense for wind. Wind is supposed to represent, like, kind of this playful, wistful thing, like in a lot of media that you wouldn't... It's supposed to be a cool breeze that hits your face there, so playful games. Here's a bag of wind. It's such a good way to depict it, and having kind of this playful pulse going on with the constant motive of the da 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 da. It's such a cool way to do it. I like it. It's fun.
Gotta say no, sir. Sometimes healing is a must.
What?
Cause the end always justifies the means. Friends turn to foes in rivalry. So keep your friends close. and
It's
your
still the same
enemies
motive.
closer. Never really know who you can
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Captain, what's happening? What's trapped in that bag? Something dangerous, friends, we mustn't lag.
It's treasure.
What?
Bye-bye.
Open the bag!
Let's see what you got.
No, do not! Everybody listen closely.
I love it. It's the playful thing there because this is a nice transition here. So while he's up there, everything is playful. Wisp, keep your friends close, because if they already say that, haha, this is treasure, we're gonna try to trick you, it immediately kind of pushes over to to this kind of intense thing, because you notice it shifts from sounding playful to intense as soon as Odysseus goes onto there, because of course they're going to want to open the treasure bag, but you can't open the bag because it's the wind, because it's the game that Aeolus wants to play. Oh, it's so clever. It's so clever. Oh, okay, I gotta stop.
Cause the end always justifies the means. Friends turn to foes in rivalry. So keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Never really know who you can trust. Never really know who you can trust.
Captain, what's happening? What's trapped in that bag? Something dangerous, friends, we mustn't lag.
It's treasure.
Ha!
What?
Bye-bye.
Open the bag!
Let's see what you got.
No, do not!
Still that same motive though, with that same beat. Bum, bum, bum. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3,
This
1, 2, 3,
bag
1,
has
2,
a
3.
storm inside. We cannot let the treasure rumor fly.
We'll try.
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Never really know who you can trust.
Now I wanna get the bag open so they can have closure.
Sometimes thinking is a must.
Cause the end always justifies the means.
Everything's changed since polity, so
Oh.
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
never really know who you can trust.
All right, so we're kind of going into two different kind of emotional feelings for this one, as now Odysseus has to keep this bag of wind away from everyone, so you kind of have the distrust of the sailor and crews, which kind of goes back to, you know, the previous song's motive of we need to stick together, but now this wind god is kind of making everyone distrust everyone here. So you have this slower kind of pulsing 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 pulse beat that was introduced at the beginning, but it's a little bit more minor, a little bit more diminished than it was when it was up there and just, you know, the god. This is a game. Who can you trust? You got to make sure that nobody touches the thing that's going to help clear this game. It's cool.
Justifies the means.
It's a cool thing. That's why it's keep your enemies or keep your friends close.
Close and your enemies closer.
Never really know who you can trust.
Really know who you can trust.
For 9 days I've stayed
And then
wide
guitar
awake,
as soon as
trying to
Odysseus
make
goes
it
by
home
himself
with no
again.
storm or tidal wave. I remain unopposed, the bag is still closed, and I'm getting closer to you. I can't
Aw.
wait to make some new memories.
It's always optimism when it's Penelope. It's so great.
Father, I never was.
Like, this is his goal.
Why are my eyes and my heart and my soul so
And we go back to kind of like song 2 with doing that. Whenever it talks about there, because that's like Penelope's scene that they reintroduced to.
Just keep your eyes open. So much has changed, but I'm the same. Yes, I'm the same. Just keep your eyes open.
Keep your eyes open.
Wake up.
Uh-oh.
Wake up. Odysseus, they're opening the bag. Wake up!
Oh. Oh no.
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
And then we immediately go into this dread thing here.
Where's the storm taking us?
Did they just bring back the storm thing again by that? We immediately heard the ba-da-da-da-da. So this is the wrath of the wind god and the wrath of Poseidon at the same time, introducing that because they lost the game. So this is Poseidon and Aeolus's wrath popped into one. As soon as we reintroduce the ocean theme to there, we go back to that original dread of trying to get past the storm, except now we have the wind god to deal with, so you're going to still hear that flute motive going in the process too. Oh, they're combining two gods' themes together. That's such a nice callback.
Where's the storm taking us?
I said to keep the bag closed, but you weren't compliant. If I had to guess, you're headed to the land of the giants.
The land of the giants. Oh boy. Back to the ocean theme again.
Help me close the bag!
But sir, it's too late.
We can save whatever wind is left to use another day. Come on!
That brought him to a not so friendly place.
Oh, Odysseus of Ithaca!
Oh.
Do you know who I am?
What? Who did they introduce? Who did they introduce there? Wait a minute. Because going back with it. Oh, as it's starting to melt down as they finally get the ships to stop, which is why the music became less and less like pulsed. So when they had that last chord and everything stopped, but who was that? Who talked? What other god is trying to screw with things? Okay. So I guess this is the last arc, unless this is Poseidon. Like, is this going to be Poseidon or somebody else? Well, let me think of the original story from here. Oh, God. I don't know. There's got to be like something else over here. Like I wonder who this new person is, and I'm sure we're gonna find out from here. And I'm trying to remember kind of the order from here, because aren't they supposed to like they're landing on the shore of the giants? It's unless this is going to where the witch goddess Circe is, but again, didn't sound like a female from there. I don't know. Unless this is the Lastagonians. Maybe this is part of the Lastagonians, which is kind of the cannibalistic things. Okay, stop predicting. Just listen. That was a really cool song, though. I really enjoyed kind of the playfulness again, and then reintroducing the storm motive into there to combine both together to put a climax in that. That was beautiful. All right, last part. Ruthlessness. Did I fucking call it and say this is Poseidon? So are we doing the Wrath of Poseidon? God immediately being like, hey, here is your new god, Poseidon. That's so funny to do it that way. Oh, that's cool. Like, we have that piano motive again. And then, boom! That's so cool. So I guess this is Poseidon. Heavy synth for Poseidon, I've noticed. Very heavy synth.
Poseidon. In all my years of living, it isn't very often that I get pissed off. I try to chill with the wind, but damn, you crossed the line. I've been so gracious, and yet you hurt the son of mine.
God, that voice!
The Cyclops you made blind is mine. No. I'm left without a choice and without a doubt.
Wait, so yes, this is Poseidon putting his wrath because of the Cyclops that he ended up tricking for there. So, because they're going back to the theme of the Cyclops, we have the that we heard back when they were fighting the Cyclops from there. That's such a nice callback from there. But it seems like this is very heavy synth when it comes to Poseidon. Okay, interesting.
I've been so gracious, and yet you
Yeah, you can hear that inflection of the calypso beat under there again.
That's right. The Cyclops you made blind is mine. No. I'm left without a choice and without a doubt. Yes, the vegetables are swimming with the shark now.
Oh, man.
I gotta make you
Like-
bleed. I need to see you drown.
The raspiness of Poseidon's voice it is perfect for someone as old as he is in mythology. That adds so much to the intensity of this. You just see me headbanging as I'm going through this.
But before you go, I need to make you learn how ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. Ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. You are the worst kind of good, 'cause you're not even great.
Oh,
A Greek who reeks a false righteousness, that's what I hate. 'Cause you fight to save lives but won't kill.
yep, gods definitely have this piano motive going on. And once again, just like when Athena talked before, just like when the Cyclops was attacking, you had this being done on the piano, and it sounds like a very heavy electronicized guitar for there. With having both of those themes in there, it just gives the the gods have a very specific thing, whether it has a chordal introduction, like when Poseidon came out, which is different from, because it's like distorted chords. You hear distorted chords or distorted instruments whenever a god comes out as compared to when just humans talking when there's no distortion. It's very interesting to see that. To base have that same beat that the Cyclops had.
The false righteousness, that's what I hate. Cause you fight to save lives, but won't kill and don't get the job done. I mean, you totally could have avoided all this and you just killed my son.
It's 1-4-5-1 for the progression too.
You are far too nice, mercy has a price. It's the final crack, we're about to break the ice now. You reveal your name, then you let him live. Unlike you, I've got no mercy left to give. Cause ruthlessness is mercy.
God, this is so intense. It's gonna say probably Krakeness. So this is gonna be Poseidon destroying pretty much all but one of the ships at this point. And that's the Ruthlessness.
To say goodbye today, you die. Unless, of course, you apologize for my son's pain and all his cries. Poseidon, we meant no harm. We only
Those
hurt him
ahs in the
to
background doing the same progression, because we introduced at the beginning the da, the 1-4-5-1, ba 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 ba. We have that same 4 chords that we heard at the beginning. That every time that Odysseus is talking to a god, we bring that theme back, and then we go into one of the other da 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 da. It's such a cool conversation to hear these motives kind of clashing with each other each time.
and all his cries. Poseidon, we meant no harm. We only hurt him to disarm him. We took no pleasure in his pain. We only want
Yep, every time. It's so cool.
The line between naivety and hopefulness is almost invisible, so close your heart. The world
And there's
is
that piano
dark and
theme.
ruthlessness is die.
Oh! The intensity of that as you see is, oh, I knew the crew was gonna die here, but like, oh, you get the warring drums and just everything there, and then just the calm after.
What have you done? When does a ripple become a tidal wave?
Oh,
43
the
left
second
to
song
live.
again. Oh,
Does a man become a monster?
it's such a nice callback to the second song.
Darkest moments, the monster that always draws near. Any last words?
All I gotta do is open this bag.
What?
And then they bring back the other theme too? How many reintroductions of themes are we doing for this again? That is so fun. That's impressive.
Remember me.
Oh, that's so chilling. That is so chilling and that's beautiful. Holy shit, I wasn't expecting it to return back to that previous one too. Oh, there are so many themes that they keep coming back to.
You are the worst kind of
Man, holy cow, this was an intense one. The Ocean Saga had so much going for it that I wasn't expecting it to. Wow. Like, especially Ruthlessness, bringing back the themes of part of the Troy Saga. Actually, you brought back almost every single, like, motive that you've, like, appeared at one point or another from there. The Cyclops theme was popped right in when Poseidon popped in, but yeah, you had your song 2 reference over there of when does a man become a monster, kind of going back to the original plot of Odysseus going out there, and then you even have like the Wind God theme coming back, like when Odysseus opens that bag. It's such a cool callback to so many different different themes and melodies and lines going from him here. I didn't expect the Ocean Saga to take me through like so many different emotions. It's kind of nuts. I mean, I'm even looking at my recording time from here. This was longer than the other two sagas because of how much was packed into there musically as well. Definitely the gods have some type of either distorted electronic theme with some type of instruments, but it seems like the major gods have some type of piano to go along with it. Each of them obviously represents something. Obviously Odysseus is the piano, or not the piano, the guitar. Odysseus's crew seems to be undistorted vocals. The gods, when they first appear, have distorted vocals, but the wind god himself, themself was a flute line, and like combining all of these together to kind of show the epicness of everything it's such a treat to do this. I'm so psyched to continue on this journey and having the really good animatics. Again, thank you Riftwalker for sending them to me. That way I could end up helping to react musically and story-wise with it. It helps so much to push everything forward from here. But I'm excited to see what kind of happens in this next thing now that they should be going towards Are they going towards Circe next? Because that should be like the next god that Odysseus should be running into. But I guess we'll find out. I'm sure there'll be a lot of musical reflections and stuff we can do with that. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening to my ramblings on the Ocean Saga from here. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like, comment, subscribe, share with everybody around there. If there's any other music that you would like me to react to, or something that you like find really like cool, by all means put down in the comments. I love having discussions with people about not only what their interpretations of them, but just kind of, spreading the joy of music. That's a lot of why I wanted to start this reaction thing, is because of me being such the music buff. I wanted to push everything forward from there and show you guys my music appreciation and introduce more people to Epic in case they haven't seen it. So again, comment something down below, whether it is another music video you might want me to react to, some other type of musical. I am all for kind of working through all of this and just having fun with it. But anyways, that's enough. The tavern is going to close its doors for another episode. But if you've enjoyed what you've seen, again, like, subscribe, comment, share with everybody. Let's keep pushing forward with this. I'm excited to see what's coming up next. So until next time, friends, this is Suno Shecano, going away. Bye-bye!